Good evening. We are pretty much ready to go here, gang. So I'm going to kick things off. First of all, thank you for coming to Bennington on Tuesday night. I understand you're sleeping in the parking lot. Did I have that right? No, okay, you got it worked out. Sorry about that. Thank you, Troy, for working through the issues there. So I'm Dimitri Garter. I'm the outgoing director of the Lightning Jar. I'm going to spend a few minutes talking about what we do. I'm going to hand it off to a couple of other people, and then we're going to go. So just a couple of quick commercials. So the Lightning Jar is a co-working space and business incubator here in Bennington. We're building out the entrepreneurial pipeline. We've got a little bit of an intermission where we're going to talk a little bit more about how we're doing that. A couple of things we're doing. One is we have a very regional focus. We're a small community, and so we have to expand reach outside of our borders, and you'll see that in the pitches tonight. So we've got a local entrepreneur who's going to be pitching. We've got one from our partner organization, Lever Inc., down in North Adams, Mass., and we have Jeffrey Thomas here, and Brent Filson as well, representing Lever. So please introduce yourselves to them after the event. And we've also got 3 pitches coming from Ignite U in upstate New York, which we're very pleased to have joining us. So and that Ignite U, I think we have Richard Lynn up here. So thanks for joining us. And if you have any questions about what they do, and I understand they have a demo day this Thursday, August 2nd, 3 p.m. in Troy. So come talk to Richard afterwards. So regional thinking is a big part of what we're doing. The other is building the pipeline through all stages, going all the way back to early education to build out deal flow. And as part of that, we've got our entrepreneurial training curriculum coming up, which is called Startup 802. There are 2 courses. We start with an 8-week course, which teaches very early stage entrepreneurs how to launch a business, and then that's followed up by a 7-week really deep dive to develop their business plan. And then that gets them up and running. And we've got an information session on that coming up on Wednesday, August 8th at 5:30 p.m. at the Lightning Jar. So this is an important part of the entrepreneurial curriculum that we're using to build that pipeline. So I'm an outgoing director because I've been doing this job on a volunteer basis for the last going on 3 years. And thanks to a very, very generous grant by the Vermont Community Foundation, who's represented today by Elizabeth Marks here, we were able to create runway for a full-time director position, who I'm going to introduce in a moment. And we also receive very generous matching funds and in-kind through VSCCU, our host organization, Southern Vermont Healthcare, Global Z, and Bennington College. So we're very excited to have our new full-time incoming paid director, Michelle Morocco. So Michelle, take it away.
Thank you. So first of all, I'm very excited to be starting with the Lightning Jar. This past month has been a whirlwind, and I look forward to a future of growing the Lightning Jar and our entrepreneurial network. So without further ado, we're very excited to have the 5th year of Road Pitch here in Bennington. And tonight is brought to you by some of our sponsors, which include Fresh Tracks Capital Road Pitch, Key Bank, GVH Studios, Southern Vermont College, and of course, VSECU, Vermont Community Foundation, Southern Vermont Healthcare, Global Z International, Bennington College, BCIC, BCRC, the Chamber, and the Shire's Young Professionals. And so, with that, I'm going to hand the microphone off. Thank you. Our first pitch of the night will be Jeb with, sorry, so sorry. Karn. I'm sorry.
So there's 2 things I like about this. I get to travel around Vermont with a fan club, and I get to drink and talk at the same time, which we haven't been able to do at any other venue, so this is terrific. We had a great ride down here today. Some of us, we spent the night at Jay Peak, had breakfast there, did a pitch stop in Lowell, and then all the way down. I think this is the first time we've gone almost border to border, and my butt's a little sore, so I need a new seat, but that's the way it goes. So I'm not getting a goddamn Harley. Not happening. I want to give a shout out to, we have a bunch of statewide sponsors, and we give away over the course of Road Pitch about $10,000 worth of prizes, and we could not do that without our statewide sponsors, and the Vermont Department of Economic Development is one of them. I know Ed Williams is here somewhere because I saw him before. Hey, Ed, thanks for coming down. We have Bytes.co, Andrew Stickney's their CEO, and our website, which is www.roadpitch.co. We're a small organization. We can't afford the M. Andrew's firm builds that and helps us market that and so forth. Champlain College and the Champlain College BYO Biz program. We have Christine Kugel, who's our Champlain College intern this year. We have Dinsey, which is a law firm serving businesses, institutions, individuals. Key Bank, and I know we've got Ryan and Eric. Ryan's actually riding with us this year, so that's great. Gallagher Flynn, GFC, which is a accounting firm. We've got Steve Trenholm. We got Phil Lapp. Is Phil still with us, right? We didn't lose him somewhere. All right, good. He's so quiet, not like you. Vermont Teddy Bear. So where's the bear? Oh, okay. So you walked in, you saw the bear. That is Holstein Harley. I got to get this one down. We had a different bear last year, but we have a new bear with cow fur, Holstein Harley. And so the winner of the pitch tonight gets $500. I write a real check, no big fake checks. You can really cash it. You get Holstein Harley, and then you get thank you. You get an entrance into the final October event. And Lena Jackson is the social media director for Vermont Teddy Bear, who comes along with us for the entire week. And if you're using hashtags about this, you should use RoadPitch 2018. And if you follow @RoadPitch on Instagram or Twitter, that's all Lena's work, even though it's got my name associated with it, which is great. I get to take all the credit. Although she got in a Twitter war yesterday. I don't know if anybody else knew that. Literally, it's like, Lena, stop. It's my name. Don't do it. Social Sentinel, which is a Fresh Tracks Capital portfolio company. Social media monitoring and threat assessment is a sponsor. Emboldia, which is a great speaker series that a lot of people don't know about. I think the closest event they have to here is actually one in Manchester every year. The Moulton Law Group, which is our Road Pitch law firm. Believe it or not, Road Pitch is it's a legal organization. It's a chartered motorcycle club, and this is an American Motorcyclist Association sanctioned event. I don't know why they do that, but we need a lawyer to do all that kind of stuff, so that's great. And the Champlain Mini Makers Fair is also a sponsor. This is a great venue, guys. Bennington always goes over the top with the venues. We've been so we're really happy to be here. We are not sleeping in the parking lot, and so far this is going to be better than the first year we were here, which Brian McKenna will remember. We stayed at the Bennington College dorms. And the security guard came around literally at 1 o'clock in the morning and tried to kick all of the motorcycle riders out of the dorm, right? And Lena, they were knocking on your door, and you're like, go away. And they're like, get out. But Brian took care of it all, so we're good. All right, turn it back over to you, Michelle.
Thank you. So now I would like to introduce Jeb, who will tell us about Paka Performance Gear. Oh.
All right, good evening. My name is Jeb Gorham. I'm with Pakatok LLC. And tonight, I'm here to talk to you about our brand, Paka Performance Gear. We offer a sustainable warmth apparel and gear for the conscious consumer. To start off, we bootstrapped this entire company working from the beginning of our days in the college classroom at Southern Vermont College, all the way through where we are right now from launching our LLC this past February. So today, I'd like to talk to you about some potential investment opportunities where ultimately I'd like to ask for $750,000 to fully launch our brand. The problem with gear these days is waste, ethics, and performance. 3 to 4 geese are plucked alive for your average down jacket. So for those of you who wear down jackets, just think about the ethics of that and think about the economics of that. As we think about alpaca fiber, the second and third cuts of alpaca fiber are generally composted or thrown away, sometimes felted. From a performance standpoint, folks are looking for lighter, warmer, hypoallergenic, and important performance gear. Our solution is V-Pack. V-Pack offers a sustainable alternative to down and synthetic fibers. Alpaca cloud fiber is lighter, warmer, wicks more moisture, and is hypoallergenic, and is also sustainably sourced. The best way we could think about talking to you about our product was to go through our lean milestones. The idea started in the spring of 2016. I actually challenged my students in a ventures classroom to come up with the craziest idea for a product they could. This was my idea. I figured I would take alpaca fiber. My kids were playing on the alpaca farm and came home, and I said, I'm going to bring this to my class tomorrow. We had no idea what the fibers would do. We had no idea what the characteristics were. We quickly found out through validating our idea on the pitch circuit and doing research that alpaca fiber actually is hollow fibered. It actually packs more warmth and actually has the capabilities that it does from a thermal rating. We started to prototype. We worked with a local seamstress who formerly worked for CB Sports, and she moved us into prototyping a jacket, into prototyping a pullover. We took it to pitch competitions. The gentleman you see here in the orange pants is at a pitch competition in Taos, New Mexico, and he was a former Nike executive, and he said, hey, you guys are onto something here. We kept working. We arrived at our minimal viable product, which is the vest that you see. A jacket and pullover weren't quite meeting our expectations. And we quickly moved into further R&D. And in spring 18, this past spring, a random distributor who distributes alpaca goods on the West Coast actually found us. And we signed a distribution agreement. And we quickly moved into productions 1, 2, and currently 3. Where we've already sold almost $13,000 worth of product to the alpaca market over the past 2 quarters. We're currently working on filling the end of run 3 and productions runs 4 and 5. And we launched our e-commerce site on our website, and we're looking at securing our intellectual property, and we want to move into new product R&D with parkas, jackets, and sleeping bags, which are higher margin products. We also are moving into working with a sales team. We want to try to find sales reps that can market our product at the high-end luxury markets, brand ambassadors, and we're in talks with local folks who have connections to the U.S. snowshoe team. We're 2 years ahead of any competition. If you really look at the competition that we're dealing with, we're looking at high-end luxury products like Canada Goose and Moncler. Their products are expensive, $300 to $600 for a vest. We actually clock in with a 550 V-Pack fill power with alpaca, which is comparable to their 650 to 750 down fill. We're up to 20% lighter than the comparable 650 down fills on the market. We're a zero waste design. We actually send all of our cuttings to a zero waste manufacturer who makes high-end luxury dresses in New York City. And our vest retails at $229. The market opportunity. The outdoor gear market is a $185 billion industry with 33% spent on outerwear. Just the luxury segment of that market is $11 billion. The snow sports industries of America estimates millions and millions of skiers, snowboarders, fat bikers, all of these athletes that would wear this gear. And we have a network of 35,000 plus alpaca stores in our current network with our distributor. Our sales strategy is pretty simple. Our B2B2C is through specialty retail. We plan to get a sales team activated where we can go into high-end ski shops at resorts and other areas and move into selling to high-end luxury shops that have an immediate market with buyers. Our distributor has the alpaca and farm stores across the United States with 12,000 wholesalers, and he also does trade show and web sales. Our B2C are our outdoor enthusiasts. We plan to activate a brand ambassador network where we can sell to the snow sports, climbing, and trail running and hiking communities. And then our e-commerce through our website. Currently, in just 2 quarters, we have representation in 20 states and New Zealand. People are talking about us. We were featured in Alpacas magazine in June 2018, and we've also had much local and national recognition with pitch competitions. Our team is myself, my division chair at the college, who I work with, who handles a lot of our marketing and branding strategies, one of our alumni, and a current student, and then we work with local folks. Our producer is actually here tonight. She handles our production lead, and she's actually been able to help 2 additional seamstresses in this area create jobs for themselves. So we're working on creating local economic input as well. As we move forward, we hope folks wear PACA performance gear. Thank you for your time.
My name is Samuel Meir, and I'm the founder of Campus Pro. These are college students today, trading in their free time, skills, and passion into cash. The problem? They don't have the tools nor the resources to connect with other students on campus looking for their services. Today, they're using platforms such as Instagram, Facebook, GroupMe, but they're using them organically, and those algorithms don't allow them to get in front of the people they need to find their next customer. The solution is Campus Pro, a mobile app that connects student freelancers with the campus community. Let me show you how it works. So this is Sam. Sam cuts hair, but he's having a challenge finding his next customers. So he's going to download Campus Pro. In less than a minute, he can fill out this form and instantly become a pro on the platform. He's going to fill out information such as his rate, his service description, the days and times he wants to provide his services. He's able to upload 6 photos from his portfolio to show off his skills. Now this is Andy. Andy has a hot date and he needs a haircut, but he doesn't have a car and doesn't have time to waste on the public transportation. So he's going to download Campus Pro. In less than a minute, he can go in the personal care section and find Sam on here. He's then going to see Sam's rate and photos of work, so he feels comfortable and confident in the individual cutting his hair. He's then going to pick a day and time that works best for him to have his services provided. After he does that, he's able to see an appointment summary and hit book now. Easy as 1, 2, 3. Now, in the spring 2018 semester at the University of Albany, we conducted a private beta launch. We got great feedback from the consumer side and what they would like to see moving forward in our platform. And pros are extremely excited for the opportunity that we're providing them, but they were transparent in where we can improve their user experience. Most importantly, we identified that we needed to make a pivot from our initial revenue model, which I can talk about a little bit later. And if you're interested in learning more about a beta, I'm more than happy to talk about it after the pitch. So being a marketplace, there's 2 sides that we need to balance. We need to balance the consumers and the freelancers. So let's start with the consumers. After extensive customer discovery, we identified the 2 biggest decision factors for college students to purchase something is price and convenience, and Campus Pro offers them exactly that. Students are able to find more affordable services using our platform because our freelancers are willing to provide these services dirt cheap to make that quick extra cash. Being a student-to-student marketplace, the majority of these services are facilitated right on campus, so they don't need to waste time going back and forth off of campus to have these services provided. At the end of the day, Campus Pro is an on-demand marketplace. We provide a platform for college students to find what they want when they want it. Now talking about the freelancers, Campus Pro creates an opportunity for college students to turn their free time, skills, and passion into a side hustle so they can make that quick extra cash to make that beer money and that food money to survive the next weekend. And for current freelancers, we provide them an opportunity to have larger reach to find their next customer at no cost. Students have economic independence when they're using our platform. They don't need to have that crappy job at the mall or the local pizza shop that always conflicts with their class schedule and studying for their exams. These are testimonials that we got from our beta users last semester. We're able to provide this individual a platform to find a tutor to help improve his academics. We're able to find this other individual a platform to find their next customer. As I mentioned before, we made a pivot from our initial revenue model, which was a commission on each transaction. Now, our platform's completely free for the freelancers and the clients. Why, you might ask? Because Campus Pro is a data analysis house collecting unique lifestyle trends on college students today and in the future. And this is how it works. We collect research on college students, which then we convert into data. This data can then be analyzed into trends so that we can sell to marketing agencies to help improve their marketing strategies for their clients and increase ROIs. Or we can sell it to data brokers to enhance their secondary data. The third way we can monetize is becoming a delivery network to run sponsored ads from local businesses and larger consumer brands. Our goal for the upcoming 2018 semester in the fall is to continue building our community at UAlbany. We are also in conversations with schools such as Siena and Sage to run some betas at those schools as well so we can test the private institution market. Our team is built with a bunch of all-stars. We have Chuck Rancourt, who has extensive resume of higher education administration roles. We also have Robert Manasier, who's a successful entrepreneur in the capital region, but before his successes, he had failures. So his entrepreneur knowledge and his business strategy is extremely important to our growth and scale. Then you have myself and Kranthi, who are extremely motivated, driven, and know the college market to make Campus Pro a success. What we're asking for today is to raise a $125K seed round. And also, if you have any developers in your network, we would love to have conversations with them to see if they're a good fit for our team. And most importantly, we're extremely coachable, so we'd love to have your feedback on our pitch and our business model. Thank you, and I'm open to questions.
Hello, everyone. My name is Eric Schimmelfenne, and I'm raising $950,000 for my company called Fabber. And we are giving fabricators, artists, and creators a superpower through software. So a little quick bit about me. I am a fabricator. I've got a fabrication shop. I do what's called digital fabrication, so making things using robotic-controlled machines. These are some of the projects that I've done. And the problem that I experience, and many other people who fabricate things experience, people fabricating stuff like this, your kitchen cabinets that you probably used this morning to make a cup of coffee, interesting pieces of furniture, and musical instruments. People are fabricating these things on machines like this. These are called CNC machines, or as I like to call them, fabrication robots. To the left, we've got one kind of driving around, cutting out that guitar. And to the right, we've got one cutting out metal. So those chairs you're sitting on, the phones that you have in your pocket, were all made on machines like this. And the problem with these machines is that if you have an idea and you want to get it to fabrication, you've got to go through this labyrinthy maze of complicated and expensive and really difficult to use software. And to give you an example of this, so I go around the country and I teach digital fabrication at shops and schools and makerspaces. This is a starter project that I do. It's a simple sawhorse. Everyone needs one in their shop. It takes about 1/3 of a sheet of plywood. This is what it takes to make a sawhorse. This is a completed design. It's already been designed in CAD. And just to export this to your machine, you've got to do 1 hour and 4 minutes worth of work to get this ready to use in your machine. And this is me doing it. I'm pretty fast at this. It takes an average person about 2 hours to take a simple sawhorse like this and prep it for fabrication. So you can see here I've got to click on every arc and vector, and there's many, many opportunities to make mistakes, and it's really, really a tough process. So the solution is pretty simple. We've created software that's a print button for fabrication. So I'm sure we've all used a printer in here. It's pretty simple. Put a document on the screen, you press print, document comes out of the printer. These big fabrication robots are technologically no different than a printer. They're just larger. So this is really a software problem that we're solving. And this is how we solved it. This is the same sawhorse in CAD. This is unedited, unsped up. This is live video. So we select the sawhorse, export it out to what we're calling a fab file or a Fabber file. We import it into the machine control software, and in just a couple clicks, this is ready for fabrication. So remember all those parts that I was clicking around really fast? If you were watching that video and had a keen eye, you'd see I had to click all those things. All the parts are laid out, ready to go. All we need to ask you is what kind of machine you have, what kind of bits you're cutting with, and you have tool paths ready in 47 seconds instead of 1 hour and 4 minutes. This problem really hit me pretty deeply several years ago. I built a house, maybe I built a house, maybe? Imagine a big IKEA kit of a house. Hang on a second, let's get back here. Let me try this again. Oh, did my cable come out? Hold on. Okay, so imagine a giant house made out of nothing but plywood. It's about 150 sheets of plywood. We spent about 2.5 days cutting out the sheets of plywood. We spent 2 weeks in software doing that obnoxious clicking that I showed you earlier. Had we had Faber, we could have literally saved 2 weeks worth of work. So why now? The cost of these machines in your average wood shop, about 1995, a machine was about $200,000 and up. Today, you can get a machine that performs better than those for about $12,000. The software, however, has not caught up. In 1995, to run your machine, you had to spend about $1,000 to $25,000 in software. In 2018, you have to spend $1,000 to $25,000 in software, and the software is still just as bad. It hasn't improved at all. Now, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about Maker Faire. I think this is a really good indicator of how people are making stuff. So Maker Faire is called the world's biggest show and tell. And if you've made a little project or something out of cardboard, you can bring it to Maker Faire and show it off. If you've made a big giant house like this and you want to show off your digital fabrication chops, you can bring it to Maker Faire as well. In 2006, 22,000 people attended a Maker Faire. In 2017, 1.58 million people went to a Maker Faire. And there's tons of economic indicators that show that people are making things now with digital tools more than ever. I just think this is a really good way to illustrate that. And again, we brought this to Maker Faire and built it there. So our market potential, wood and metal, which our tech currently works with, is a $167 billion market. We feel that conservatively we can capture $255 million per year in revenue from that market. And we're going to do that by selling our software as a service, so cloud-based fabrication software, $10 to $200 per month. Our biggest competitor is Autodesk. They've got a $28 billion market cap. Autodesk is a bit like Microsoft. Big company, big steamship of a company, lots of legacy software support. Remember Writely, that little startup that came along and kind of revolutionized the way we write documents? You can share them online, work on them collaboratively with people in your browser. Oh, I'm sorry, that's Google Docs. That's what that is. Google acquired them and turned it into Google Docs. We want to be the Google Docs for fabrication by having a completely cloud-based product. So our team, we've got John Ward. He built that awesome MVP, which you saw earlier, which took an hour and turned it into 47 seconds. We've got me, who've already talked about. And Joe, he is the guy who wrote all of the machine control software for MakerBot, that company that made 3D printing sort of a household name. And my vision is simple. I want anybody, anywhere, creating anything with a digital tool to be completely unencumbered by software. We want to make that print button for fabrication. We are Faber. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Simon Bruno. I'm one of the founders of InkKey Technologies, where we're changing the way that readers meet new books. You see, the task of linking the right book to the right person at the right time just hasn't yet gotten the attention it truly deserves. But why does it even matter? It matters because when the right book collides with the right person, it creates an unforgettable experience, one that I hope you're already familiar with, and one that we've gotten to know really well over the past year. And as of late, I'd like to think of it one other way. This year, the 120 millionth book will be published. And if you're lucky and you read a lot, you might be able to read 2,500 or 3,000 of them before you die. So you might as well pick very carefully. And odds are, with 130 million books out there, the right book for you exists. It's just a matter of finding it, and that's where we're coming in. So before I get going, we're going to talk about two products tonight. The product that we're most known for is InkKey's Bookshelf, our subscription book service. And then we actually just launched our second product a couple weeks ago, and I'm really excited to talk about that for the first time here today. So without further ado, InkKey's Bookshelf is our monthly book subscription, and I'll walk you through exactly how it works. So you sign up, you upload, or rather, you fill out a survey detailing your reading interests, and then you upload a picture of your bookshelf letting us know a little bit more about your reading history. And then based on these two things, we're actually creating software that's curating a selection of books that we're shipping right to your door on a monthly basis for $15 a month. If you have an e-reader, we'll also ship your book right to your Kindle, Nook, or iPad. So it's really a three-step process. We collect those two pieces of data, we analyze it, turn it into a recommendation. We then cross-reference that recommendation across a catalog of over 3 million books. We're partnered with the largest book distributor in the United States to give us this last link in creating one of the world's first truly curated book subscription products. And it's gone really well. We've been doing this for about 10 months, and we've shipped out hundreds of books all over the world, creating these really unique reading experiences across multiple continents. But more importantly, throughout this process, we've built up an audience of about 15,000 people who just love to read. and we listened to these people. And in this process, we saw a second opportunity to build another product that helps us further expand upon our mission to change the way readers meet new books. And I'm excited to talk about that for the first time here tonight, as well as how it integrates with our first product, InkKey's Bookshelf. So this is the last book that I read, Steve Jobs by Walter Isaacson, great book. I'm going to show you 2 reviews that I read before I read this book. There's one fundamental difference between these 2 reviews, and I don't expect you to see it right away. I have no idea who Matthew is. The only reason Matthew's up here is because he was the top-rated reviewer on Amazon. Matthew doesn't even know he's up here. Mike, on the other hand, Mike's a friend of mine. He's also a talented computer science engineer, and he knows better than anybody I know about building great software products. Whose review do you think carried more value to me? Mike's, obviously, because it's a credible source. Then why is it that so many people are buying books off of reviews from people that they don't know? When we know for a fact that a recommendation for any product, books especially, from a friend or a credible source is so much more valuable. Not to beat a dead horse, but think of it this way. If 2 people recommended to you a cookbook, and the first one was Bobby Flay, says, I use this cookbook on a daily basis. And the second one was an anonymous Amazon reviewer for who all we know could be this guy, just sitting at home, batting away on his keyboard. We'd have no idea. Whose review would you pick? I would pick Bobby Flay's. So we set out to create a product that allows each and every person to have the ability to have a digital bookshelf that they can share with the world. So we created this product, and this is actually my bookshelf. You can follow my bookshelf, and I can follow your bookshelf. And every time I read a book, you can get notified. And every time you read a book, I can get notified. And say I want to add and keep track of books that I want to read. I can click this little bookmark right here. These are all the books that I want to read. But what about Mike? I'm really interested in seeing what Mike's reading. So I go to this search bar right down at the bottom here. I type in Mike's name. I read everything that Mike reads. We have really similar reading tastes, and he recommends me a lot of books. I click on his profile, and I see, look, he's read Steve Jobs. That's a book that I'm interested in reading in. I click on it. I see his review, and I'm convinced. This is the next book that I'm going to read. So I go up here, I add it, I bookmark it, and it pops right up on my to-read list. So this allows me to keep track of the books that I want to read, along with corresponding sources of those actual recommendations, credible sources. So in recap, what this product is doing is allowing you to get great book reviews and recommendations from people that you know and trust. It allows you to keep track of the books that you've read and keep track of the books that you want to read. And it integrates perfectly with our first product, InkKey's Bookshelf. Because the most common question we get asked is, what if I don't have a bookshelf? What if I go to the library? What if I borrow a book from somebody? And in order to get the most complete picture of somebody's reading history, you have to incentivize them to give it to you, which is exactly what we're doing with this product here. It gives us a more complete image of the reader, allowing us to further curate our process and create a great book recommendation. So a couple closing thoughts. I always like to close with this. This is a piece of feedback that we got from one of our first subscribers. It goes, I just want to say thank you so much for everything. I will continue with you guys forever. I'm now obsessed with reading, and I tell everybody about InkKey. We're creating hundreds of these experiences almost on a daily basis now, either with our app or with our book subscription product. And the one commonality between these 2 products and every product that we plan to build from here on out is that they fall under the mission to change and enhance the way that people meet new books. So with that being said, we're going to do some questions, and there's a lot of technology here that I didn't get to talk about, and a lot about the business model, but we can talk about that in the Q&A. Thank you.
All right, great. Well, good evening, everybody. I spent a lot of time thinking about this presentation because when I speak to groups, I usually don't speak to groups that know as much about motorcycle helmets as this group. I also know that you understand safety and the importance of safety gear to a rider. So, but we may not agree that the classic half shell is a place to start the revolution in helmet safety. So I want to talk to you about that tonight. My name is Donnie DeVito. I'm with Kirsch Helmets. I'm one of the founders. This is our helmet. We're about to go into production with it. And I'm going to talk to you about the most advanced impact technology in the world. And currently, there's an epidemic on highways, as you know, around the world, here in the United States especially. Helmets are excessively big and bulky. They're lightweight and poorly constructed. What's happening is with this epidemic is that there are continued injuries, paralysis, and even death as a result of these poor quality shells. So we have a dramatic technology breakthrough that uses fluid displacement liner in that technology that replaces compression foam technology. What it does is it's going to handle kinetic energy in a very different way. It's able to be more effective, reduces rotational and angular acceleration and impacts. It's competitive and affordable price point. Also, it gives a rider the style and the comfort that they're looking for without having to sacrifice safety. And that gives them improved performance. And we think that's very effective. Now, you know here in the United States there are about 3 million helmets a year that are purchased by 9 million riders. About 40% of that market where we're focusing is in the classic half shell and novelty helmets. What the riders are looking for are low profile helmets. They're looking for something that's comfortable, stylish. They're also looking for DOT street legal, and they want it at a fair price. What we've done is we focused on the market, the area of the market of the 35 to 55-year-old women, especially growing group of 18 to 34-year-olds. They own multiple bikes. They are affluent as a group, and they're willing to spend the money on this passion of theirs and this lifestyle. But when they go to the market, they see this. It's the Wild West out there. There's very few companies that have any control in this market, in the half-shell market. A few companies, brand names bubble to the top. It's World's Smallest Beanie, Harley-Davidson, Bell, you know the names, Daytona. They're out there, but they're really not defending this market very well. And what's happening, what's given us our advantage, is our innovative IP, our intellectual property, that gives them something that stands above all the rest, that stands above all of the other helmets in the market. We're able to make these helmets here in the United States, and we're the only helmet that's making a helmet completely here in the United States. It's assembled by veterans in our final assembly and also with people with disabilities. So this is a tough helmet for a tough customer. So the last year we spent brand building. We worked our sales and marketing plan. It's gone extremely well. What we've done is we've been able to sell. We began our e-commerce site. We've been able to sell pre-orders. We're doing fantastic at it. We've gone across the country. We've seen about 2 million people in the shows that we went to, the rallies that we went to this year. What we have that's happening that I think it really is able to demonstrate the brand and how we built the brand is we just became the first helmet. We can announce that we're the first helmet ever that the city of Sturgis has endorsed, and we're the first helmet of the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally that they've ever put together in 80 years. Myself and Jason, we met a couple of years ago. I'm a businessman. I've been in investment banking, corporate finance. I've financed a lot of startup companies like many of you. I've had 5 or 6 of my own that I've been involved in, and we've moved from that to, or my role here is to build the business and move from the product from a prototype to production and then to distribution. And to help me with that is Steve Peel. Many of you probably know the name Steve Peel. Steve was with Harley-Davidson for 35 years. And Steve is experienced in marketing and business development. He came to us. He works full-time as part of the team, and he's helping us do exactly what he did at Harley-Davidson, developing corporate strategy for us. So we're in production now. We're just about to start fulfilling pre-orders. And what we're also doing is growing our distribution channels. We're working over the next couple of years to grow distribution, to grow production, and to develop the product line. So what we need is we need money, we need strong financials, and to do that, the best way is to sell product. So we're already begun selling product through pre-orders, and we expect to sell about 17,000 helmets over the next 12 months. That's going to generate about $1 million gross margin, and then the next year after that, we expect then to grow from there to about 33,000 helmets as we bring the 3/4 shell, as we get ECE and SNEL approval. So the fuel for the next phase I need is for capital expenditure to lower cost of goods sold, to improve production, to be able to do continuous product development as we develop variants as we move through up to the full face modular helmet. We're going to do brand building and sales and marketing. That's to build customer awareness, customer experience, customer-focused marketing that we're working very closely to do. And that's going to give us significant presence at the shows. So in summary, we have the most advanced impact technology. It's fully patented already. We have multiple provisional patents filed. It's American-made. It's effective, competitive, and affordable for the rider. And also, in our opinion and that of experts we work with, the fluid displacement liner will replace compression foam technology and put your helmets in a museum. Thank you. Any questions?